Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people hate reading. This week we're doing the Patrick Swayze classic, Roadhouse. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, Ryan Preston,
William Shatner,
and the old guys here.
and who has the amazing synopsis, description, explanation of this movie via IMDb.
I'll pass that one off to Johnny.
I think I'll give it to the old guy.
Hey, I'll do it. This is a really long one. Here we go.
Description ever.
There, yeah, that's what I was talking about. A tough bouncer is hired to tame a dirty bar, and it's not even correct because he wasn't a bouncer; he's a cooler.
Yeah.
So it should be a tough
difference.
Cooler is hired to tame a dirty bar.
Nobody knows what a cooler is past the 80s.
Are you
That's a
kidding
good
me?
point.
You know, seriously. They all became bouncers because they got so damn fat they just bounced people out the door.
And I still might. And this movie has some of the greatest quotes ever.
You know they do.
My favorite of all time is all you have to do is follow 3 simple rules. Very simple. 3 rules is 1, never underestimate your opponent. Okay, welcome to the 80s. Expect the unexpected. Take it outside. Never start anything inside the bar unless absolutely necessary. And 3, be nice.
You know, I do gotta say I love the name of the bar, but why is it called that?
the double deuce.
Because they can.
Douche.
Bar?
It's deuce.
Well, that's what Sam
Yeah.
Elliott called it when he
the
rode
double
up on the
douche.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
Am I still being shushed?
It's either the double
Are we,
deuce.
are we not talking about this movie?
Yes.
All right, good.
either it's the double deuce, which is talking about taking 2 dumps, or the double douche, which is even worse.
Well, the problem is their logo had dice.
I get it, but
I do like when Sam Elliott pulled up.
The double
Right,
douche.
he called it a double douche. That's what he said.
yes.
By the way, the bar was supposed to be in Missouri. They have helmet laws. He broke the law.
Well, did
Well,
they
did
back
they-
when
yeah,
this
in
movie
89?
was?
They did.
Okay.
They did. Yeah, I looked it up.
Oh, and here's a line that reminded me of James. Take the biggest guy in the world.
You can't be tamed.
No, I was actually thinking taking the biggest guy in the world, shatter his kneecaps, and he'll drop just like a stone. Which I'm pretty sure I've heard James say at one point.
Well, I've said things similar to that. I usually say just rip the balls off and watch them drop. But you know, what I'm talking about if we really in a fight, then there are no.
I'm
rules.
on an
But
up with that one.
didn't it look like Sam Elliott actually took a shot to the kneecap through this movie?
He did.
You know,
Yeah.
like is he talking from experience?
He may be.
Or he just had hip surgery.
But I personally, I like when he's in front of everybody and he gets up there and he's talking about, you know, the 3 rules and he's saying, be nice, be nice, be nice. And he says, being called a cocksucker isn't personal. No, it's 2 nouns combined to elicit a prescribed response. He's very true. What if somebody calls my mom a whore?
Was she?
Is she? You know, is she? If she is, then, you know, he's right on. If she isn't, who cares?
Yeah.
He doesn't
That's
know
why
your
I
mom.
freaking love this movie, though. It's one, cliche after another. I mean, starting out with bartenders are famous. You know what I mean? You're the best cooler in the business.
Yeah.
Well, I'm second best. This guy's the best. Well, he's always working, so we need you.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about
Oh, man, he's smoking while doing, like, Tai Chi. Come on.
Oh, I know. Everybody smoked in that movie. Everybody.
Not while doing Tai Chi.
Well,
You know, that-
he was the only one doing Tai Chi.
That's, okay, now I got to pull that up.
It's
You
all
know,
about the healthy living.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he never ever actually followed his advice by taking it outside the bar. He broke a table, he breaking glass.
No, hold on. He actually took the fight outside the bar in the first opening scene and then turned around and walked inside. He just left the guy sitting out there.
Right.
Which is pretty funny. But, you know, now you brought that up, Ryan, is, you know, the Tai Chi thing. So out of place. Tai Chi does not teach you how to self-defense.
How
It's an old woman's sport in the middle of Central Park.
actually, haven't taken Tai Chi. That's not true.
But
There's multiple versions.
There
of
he's
Tai
not
Chi.
called the old guy
Okay.
for nothing, ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
But the version of Tai Chi that you see him doing is more of the... I'm getting hooked up on this thing. It's more of the ones that you see that it's to elicit breathing and to do stretches.
Yeah.
That's what he was. That's the form of Tai Chi he was doing.
I didn't know Tai Chi taught you how to remove somebody's Adam's apple.
There you go.
Well,
Which
was his trademark after he killed
Somebody
Oh,
beforehand.
yeah.
right?
Well, you know what's great is they telegraphed it in about the first 10 seconds of the movie.
Sure.
You know, somebody saying, I already ripped a guy's throat out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, great, I know how the movie's going to end. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
you're just looking forward to it for like 45 minutes.
Well, you know, what was odd about the version I watched, and I watched it on Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere easy. I believe this movie on Amazon was edited because in the original movie, they took about a 2-second shot of the guy's trachea flying in the air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
In the version I saw, that's what they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the version I saw, they took that out.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
The best part of the movie was gone. I kind of went, man.
That it really is
That's
the best
horrible.
part
That's
of
a
the movie.
Yeah,
I
I wanted my $2.99 back.
Yeah, I know.
I
you
was-
should write them.
I was gonna say the other
You know
thing.
what, Rob? Though, I think it's worth the $2.99, man, to see this much mayhem and violence and shit kicking, nonsense.
Yeah.
And no cops.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the cops are already on the take, so we don't need to worry about them, right?
Yeah,
And
the
so,
other thing-
But yeah, they basically explained it away with one sentence. Oh, the cops are on the take.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do anything I want.
Brilliant. You gotta love that kind of writing.
The other thing I thought was cool was the musician in the Double Deuce was
Oh,
actually
yeah,
a blind guy.
Yeah, he was the real McCoy.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
he
Really blind too.
yeah,
Yeah.
in real life, and he just recently died for the last decade. But I always thought that was
like 06 or 07 or
Really?
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one.
I always thought that great was funny because bar bottles are flying at him, and he's just not even missing a beat as there's glass stuff hitting him.
Right.
He doesn't see it.
you can
He
see
can't
him react
flinch.
to
Yeah, you
one
can't
of
see
the,
it
one of
coming.
the shards at one point. But you know it's going to be an awesome movie when the bar they're in has chicken wire.
Yeah.
Not since Blues Brothers. You know.
Oh,
That's what it reminded me of.
By the way,
Thank you.
did any of you guys catch Terry Funk in this movie?
No.
He played Morgan. Terry Funk is a professional wrestler. You know, the guy who had the big fro and when Dalton was kicking people out.
Okay, yeah.
And Dalton fires him, and Morgan goes, "What am I supposed to do?" Dalton's response is, "There's always barber college."
That's right. I remember that.
He's a professional wrestler.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I saw him before.
Yeah,
Jeff
you're a bigger fan of
Jeff
wrestling.
Healy was the musician's name.
Yes.
He passed away in 2008.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, 2008. Yeah, Jeff Healy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learned how to play real young. Played, sitting down in his lap. That was
Yep.
kind of a showcase for him in this movie.
It was, and it was
I
the
loved-
only movie that was the end of his career. He did one movie in his whole life. That was it.
But
Right,
I
well,
love.
you can tell he's just, at home right there on a bar, full of rednecks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved the way he was playing. That was always one of my favorite parts, is actually watching him do it like that. Because
Yeah,
that
he-
always was like,
That was always
wow.
a cool style to play like that.
Yeah. Wow, we got quiet.
So,
okay.
anyway, what I was going to bring up is, watching this movie made me realize why I don't like Patrick Swayze movies. I'm getting
Okay.
there. He never really is that mean guy. He's too nice. Even when he's trying to be a jerk,
because he's following his 3 rules.
He's
He's
too
being
nice.
nice.
he's too nice. I like the character
I miss
like,
the guy.
like Clint Eastwood. And Gran Torino is the perfect example of why I like him.
And I have no time to explain to you why I'm badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you waste my time trying to get me to explain to you why I'm badass, I'm gonna hurt your ass.
Right, because it's
Show you
quicker
how.
than explaining to you.
Right.
You know, so I just love that type of anti-hero.
I have
And
to-
Patrick
Well, that's why I love
Swayze is
Sam
not
Elliott,
that
man.
anti-hero. to me.
Sam Elliott's the freaking master of that.
Yes, thank you.
I
Totally
totally
Sam
agree.
Elliott.
Yeah.
Because every time I see Patrick Swayze in an action movie, or when I did see him in an action movie, he always seemed like the guy from Ghost or Dirty Dancing.
So,
but
okay,
a
so
little bit more of a badass.
You got to
not be
remember where
ridiculous.
Patrick Swayze came from. He's a dancer.
He's a
He
girl,
was a
right.
dancer.
He's fabulous.
I
So-
shouldn't say that. I didn't mean he's a girl. I meant he's a girl's
You sexist.
hero. He's a girl's hero.
Oh yeah, the women love him. I mean, and so everything that he did in his action movies were just it was choreographed as a dance,
Yeah.
and that's what he did.
Yeah.
So
So, what do you think of the cast in this
and the
movie?
other thing I got to did anybody else find that nurse just such a whore?
Oh,
I mean, like the first date, she's jumping his bones.
Kelly
Literally.
Lynch.
You mean the
she's
doctor?
like, lift up my skirt, drop your pants, I'm jumping on you. It's like, what
Yeah,
the?
Kelly Lynch is
where
the
the
doctor.
heck did that
Yeah.
come from? I forget what the line was, but it was kind of like a stupid line, and then she's jumping his pants.
It's the 80s, man.
I was like, what the heck is going on?
The other thing that was funny was when he was getting the house at Red's. I think it was Red's, or no,
No.
at the barn.
Oh,
Yeah,
the barn,
the barn.
When he was saying, he just needed a place, and the guy said this place has no conditioned air, no this,
No phone, nothing.
And the guy
Perfect
goes,
with
so
him.
why do he comments about how much do you have to pay? He said, normally I wouldn't, charge anything, but I need a couple of bucks to keep the churchgoers from bugging me. That is a
Anyways.
great line.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting one. But yeah, like that's kind of the thing for me for this movie is I've seen this movie a bunch of different times. Never all the way through, mind you. I just realized that this time is that I've always caught snippets of this movie.
God, I've watched this movie all the way through so much. I know the movie by heart.
I haven't.
practically.
I haven't
But
watched it
it's
from
one of
start to
those,
finish.
You see it on cable and you just leave it on.
Or
It's-
back when they did, the movies on Saturday, in the afternoon and mornings, and they would throw this one on every now and then.
Yeah, true. They showed this movie a lot more when they weren't replaying reruns of Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Or Critters or Gremlins.
Because this
Drummers.
is Tremors.
Tremors.
Well, because I remember this being on the early '90s,
Shark.
being on all the time.
Jaws, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about this one. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm like, I can't say I dislike Patrick Swayze's character in here. It's a good character. It's not a bad one, but
It's a
but
very
there's
one-dimensional
just-
character.
Yeah, it's one-dimensional, and I just can't believe that he would be, mean enough to really do what's necessary. That's why kind of Sam Elliott's character kind of popped up towards the end.
Well, I think
Kind of the young guy, the old guy that took him under his wing and helped him along. And I could believe Sam Elliott would be that guy.
Well, I think that's what they probably made him a good cooler in the movie is because he's such a nice guy. That it kind of takes people blindsided by the fact he's some like Tai Chi Jutsu master guy.
Well, you remember
Throat ripper.
everybody's
Yeah.
line was
The
to
art
him,
of
I
bouncing.
thought you'd be bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So,
Exactly.
so he always, his opponents always underestimated him.
Yes.
And that
That's
was
very true.
That was his advantage.
But I mean, totally. I just back to Sam Elliott is. I just love the character that he played. Was and the introduction to his character. You get like what would you call that? The rumors about his character and what he's like, and then you finally see him kind of go over to the phone, waddle, kind of hobble over to the phone, and talking on it, and you see him kind of in a titty bar that all these rough and gruff guys, and you kind of look at him and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, he fits that character. But you look at the rumors of Patrick
Dalton,
Swayze
yeah.
and Dalton, and you're like,
I agree. Dalton, the Sam Elliott's character was more of like a redneck bar, where Patrick Swayze's character never seemed to be, like a hardcore redneck
yeah.
bar. But I thought he played this character off fairly well for everybody in this movie being very one-dimensional, very little actual plot development besides Patrick Swayze killing and hurting people.
Yeah.
Right.
But I actually thought,
like pain don't hurt.
right?
The other thing is Ben Gazzara, I believe that's the way you pronounce
Yeah.
his last name. He's really a better actor than what he did in this movie. I mean, I thought
the
he.
character actors in
Yeah.
this movie are much better than what this movie turned out to be.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie is definitely lesser than the sum of its parts, but I think that's part of its charm.
I don't
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't actually think they could have done any better acting, watching this movie and really looking at it. The
No, I
script
bet
on
if you read the script,
Right.
you realize the actors probably did the best they could.
it was probably written on the back of a Piggly Wiggly bag. I mean, the script is very thin.
Yeah.
It was,
But
they did
Besides
what they could.
the couple of really good quotable moments and great action sequences.
You know what this seemed like to me is, and I'm just jotting some down that came to mind, is that this was a Western, but not done as a Western. Instead of being a Western, because it's basically the Lone Ranger, Dalton, whatever you want to call him,
the
comes
black
into
hat
town,
versus the white hat. Yeah,
comes
yeah,
into
yeah.
a town, starts to clean it up, goes and gets his old buddy to help clean it up, gets the girl, kills the bad guy, you're done. That's pretty much what a ton of Western stories are. So it's a Western story, but done in an 80s fashion where nightclubs are the big thing.
Right,
There you go.
That's not. Yeah.
That's me from Real Flix Reviews. We'll see you next week.
Well, there's no better Western actor than Sam Elliott anyway.
There isn't, and that's what made me
you know.
think of it. I was looking at some of his old stuff, and I was looking at some of the great ones that he did, like The Quick and the Dead.
Oh, God.
And I'm like,
I really like that
Cowboy
guy.
Lean and Sam Elliott.
Yeah, so I was just kind of, that's the way that I just kind of was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, that's pretty much what this story is a Western story told countless times.
I do think, though, this
just
is
with different backgrounds, different characters, and different actors. Anyway, sorry.
And the oddest thing is, I don't think, unlike other 80s movies, this movie has very 80s things, like that lady with that
Oh, the hair
poof
and the glasses.
and the clothes.
And,
I actually think this movie, for being damn near 30-plus years old, has not aged that bad. There are certain things that are 80s. I mean, considering, like, Masters of the Universe, which has very aged. You know, the one thing that really stood out to me that makes it an 80s movies is the line, "Nobody wins a fight." The very
Pain
80s.
don't hurt.
Exactly. You know, but I actually think this movie has actually aged pretty well. I mean, what do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, man.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I think we
He's
could
still
hear what he
laughing.
was doing.
He's still laughing at Pain Don't Hurt.
I mean, 'cause that's what this movie lives on is those singular moments. This is the perfect mystery science theater movie. You sit there with four of your jerk off friends and just talk shit. Like, I can't believe this is happening in this movie.
So, what do you think, though? How well do you think this movie has aged?
You know what? It was at the tail end of the 80s, which made not that great action movies. But the 90s really turned out some pretty stellar action movies. This one kind of bridges the gap because it's a good action movie, but it's about a bullshit, plot. Like, it's about bouncers, let's just be honest.
No, cooler.
So, it's hard to have a really epic action movie with bouncers. But that being said, I think they did the best action bouncer movie they could.
That particularly answer the question, but yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying is, that's really, there's no real plot to it, and that's really what we're pointing out is there's no real plot to it. There doesn't need to be a plot to it. It's a fun movie that you can pick on, and as John mentioned, there's tons of great quotes, like seriously, one of my favorites, "Pain don't hurt."
Pain don't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's almost an antithesis of 80s style action movies where the plot was basically a connection between the scenes where people die and fight and get hurt. But this one apparently is a cowboy movie.
Yeah, and I do like the one where they're all sitting down there and they've all the townspeople came in with all these guns that just
Right?
I don't know why everybody and anybody had to have a long rifle in a house, really.
Oh, the best part.
Anyway, but the guy's sitting there and he's just like, what did you see? A polar bear fell
Yeah,
on
Tinker,
me.
yeah.
Just like, I
was
sound
good.
nothing. Polar bear fell on me.
and
I
what's
know
up-
nothing.
And what's up with the Scooby-Doo moment when after that happened and everybody laughed at him, like,
I just like the fact that, that one guy's sitting there collecting all the guns that technically not all those guns were fired into that body.
And by the way, they were
Well,
shotguns,
in
not
the
exactly
original-
easy to
In the
trace.
original, every guy took a shot so that they would all be blamed
Yeah.
for killing him.
Yes,
right?
I get that.
So,
But it
so
was
that was the idea.
You notice most of them were shotguns, though?
Well,
Yeah, most of them were
why not?
shotguns.
That's what I would want to use.
Well, it's a little hard to trace with, shotgun pellets.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just that was just a really funny moment. He gets up with a little handgun. Polar bear fell on me.
And the best part about that is that dude was huge. Tinker was a giant of a man,
Yeah.
width-wise, which made it even better.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, what do you give this movie?
Oh man, it's a 3. You know what I mean? They I don't think they tried that hard. You know what I mean, to make something amazing. I think they had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it was
And I had
not
a
meant
lot
to
of
be an
fun watching
amazing
it.
movie. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Great.
Now, before I give a rating, I had to bring this one up, and I almost forgot about it. I'm glad I found it in the quotes.
Oh, great.
Wade Garrett in that titty bar that he was at mentions to Dalton, this place has a sign hanging over the urinal that says "Don't eat the big white men."
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that I just have to say I do enjoy about this movie, is that there's quotes like that in
Yeah.
there. And just based off that, I mean, I'd give it a 3. If it didn't have fun things like that, this wouldn't even rate it 2.
Rob?
Yeah, I agree. It's just one of those fun movies to laugh at and kind of tear apart and laugh at the quotes and sit back and just kind of have fun. And for me, it was a little bit kind of, sad that Patrick Swayze isn't with us
Yes.
anymore, so he can make some
Yeah.
more silly, fun movies
Girl.
like this. Yeah,
Sorry.
and it was just fun. So I'm gonna say it's a 3.
I actually 100% agree, and dear God, a 3 out of 5. Just exactly what James said. Half the fun of this movie is the shit they come out with for the quotes, to
Yep.
the hilarious scene where he's out prancing by himself, doing his Tai Chi moves, and the old guy's looking at him going, "What?" The movie's hilarious. It's definitely a great 80s action movie, and especially a Patrick Swayze movie. It's a great movie, so definitely 3 out of
Yep.
5. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get to movie news that Ryan's going to bring us, I want to remind you that we do have a Facebook page. Make sure you take a look. Tell us what you think. Is there a movie you'd like us to do, or even a theme? Or tell us if James, Ryan, or even the old guys suck. Let us know. We
I don't
might
care.
read you on air.
At some
Maybe.
point.
At least be creative, damn it. That's
Remember
all I'm
I-
asking for.
Yeah.
Remember, I had
come
a
on,
tough
really
guy
seriously.
phone call this week.
Be
True.
creative.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, if you're going to try to insult me, be creative.
Right?
At least read the previous ones and come up with something better.
Exactly.
I got the story for you then. Keep researching.
Wait, no.
I want to hear this.
We'll tell the story off
All
the
right.
air.
We got it off the air.
No,
I want
you gotta
that
tell
asshole in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
tell it after the show
All right.
on the air.
Jeez.
So Ryan, do you have any movie news? Or you gotta phone it in.
I'm waiting for everybody to get back on the rails over here.
It's kind of a crazy train.
Well, just a couple of quick things. I don't know if you guys remember the whole Tarantino script getting leaked.
Yes.
Yeah, the crazy.
And all that stuff. He's basically officially, announced he's still working on it at the time. He hasn't given an official release date yet, but he's backed off of his
His temper tantrum.
position of okay, just scorch the earth.
Yeah.
Do
Never make the movie.
you remember the name of the movie?
Hateful Eight.
That's it.
Yes.
Because the last
Yeah.
thing I read on that, and he said, "Screw it, I'll just release it as a novel." And I have to admit, I was kind of like, "I'll totally buy that just to see how big that damn book is."
Oh, I'm sure everybody would buy a Quentin Tarantino novel, but I don't think he would have nearly as much fun doing a novel. These are filmmakers.
Yeah, I really can't see him doing that. I would read a biography of his.
I
would be interested in that.
I'd love to see stage directions on a novel. Exit stage right.
So I got a question for any of you guys. Any of you guys know who Danny Anchor is?
Name sounds oddly familiar. Why?
He died.
That's
So he was a
bad.
character actor?
No, he was actually a documentary film
Oh.
maker.
What he did? Do you have any what he do?
No, I just I got a couple things like Icebound, Scottsboro, An American Tragedy. He did another one, Imaginary Witness, Hollywood and the Holocaust. Just different things, and I've never seen any of it. Some of his stuff is narrated by Gene Hackman and interviews with Steven Spielberg, so he sounds kind of like, not to really say anything negative about him, but he sounds kind of more like a Michael Moore type of
Was it
thing. But I haven't seen any of his stuff. More of like kind of placate to the masses.
More like
Well,
so he was in.
as far as documentary filmmakers go,
But he's only got 9.
they even Michael Moore. You know what I mean? The fact that the ideas get out there, the reason that society is as good as it is, no matter how good or bad you think it is because we're able to exchange ideas with different
True.
people. You know what I mean?
And
that's
I
what
agree.
filmmakers are really good at. Is and it might be an incredibly left or right or center or whatever, opinion, but it still gets you thinking about, okay, now what's my opinion on it, or
Yeah.
how much do I agree or disagree?
So I'm actually interested to check out some of his stuff. But the interesting is that he died of lymphoma.
Oh wow.
At 50.
That sucks.
So
At
it's very tragic, and I gotta say, it's tragic that he died so young.
Oh, totally.
As far as I know, he'd only had done 9 documentaries, so he slipped under my radar. But my condolences to the family too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
documentarians.
I hadn't heard of him. I was wondering if any of you guys had.
I guess I haven't, but the name sounded oddly familiar.
Anyway, sorry.
No worries. Now it seems dumb for me to go back to my stupid movie news.
I can make a Michael Moore joke. I mean, come on, let's go.
Terminator Genesis is getting underway.
I was going to bring that up, and also Jurassic World has a release date.
Oh,
I want to see it,
I agree,
and I hope it does as well as the first.
and it better be. If it's,
Me too. But I'm cool with it if it sucks as bad as number 3.
I do no. See, here's the
Really?
thing. I personally.
I am.
I personally have a humble request. Make it better than the second or third one, or I hope it dies a miserable, flaming death.
Wait a minute. Really, number 3?
I hated number 3, and I'll still watch that movie.
I'm an Uwe Boll fan, and I hated number 3.
We're gonna have to have a talk, Ryan. You're gonna have to come up here. They're gonna take you out in the middle of the national forest, and we're gonna have to have a talk.
Hey,
Well,
do we
look,
get
I'm gonna leave you out there until you bring me back a snipe hit.
I basically
a drop
or
bear?
a jackalope.
That'll be better.
Needed to say that's how much I like dinosaur movies.
All right. Okay. Did you watch one of the Jurassic Wars or whatever that they had going on? You know what I'm talking about. Where it was like the Tyrannosaurus fights Velociraptor, who comes out on top?
Oh yeah. But see, I liked it with the budget, of something like Jurassic Park.
Anyways,
But,
really kind of.
Well, I do have some interesting news, and I don't know if you guys are a fan of the TV show Farscape.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah, I
Farscape.
heard they might be making a movie.
They're gonna make, and I don't know much about it. I literally ran across this a couple of minutes ago. It was telling about there's going to be a TV movie spin-off.
Wait.
Is it going to be a
TV
Henson
movie
production again?
spin-off?
I'm assuming it has to be a
Yeah,
Henson
Henson production,
because
yeah.
nobody else, I think, has the.
Is he still alive?
His son.
Okay.
Yeah.
His son runs the
Thank you.
business.
Because I don't
was
think
trying to remember. I thought he died.
Yeah,
no, he
a
did,
while
but it's,
ago.
yeah.
because
but
I
his
don't think anybody
son
has
did Farscape.
I don't think anybody has the ability to do puppets like the Henson Company.
Yeah,
No.
they've got
No.
it down.
No.
They do.
The best thing about this though is I think they can really just make a major spectacle, and hopefully make it instead of having to do an ending movie like they did on the end of the series.
Yeah, I really liked Farscape, so I'm going to be with this one.
I did too. There were some strange things about it, but it was a really well put together show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had
definitely.
stayed away
I
from
mean,
it for a long time, and then I just watched it all the way through. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it.
But
It's pretty
think
years
of
after.
how much cult status that thing got from its really grassroots beginning with that show.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's not as much
I
as
mean, they're about to make a movie off of like an internet short.
I don't think it's as much as Firefly is cult status, but considering this, I think it's actually
Well, Firefly was a legitimate show.
Well, so
It's
is
just,
Farscape.
people
Well, yeah,
were sad that it
Farscape was
ended.
on for 4 years.
yeah, Farscape
Yeah.
was on for quite a while.
Let's see how many seasons they actually. Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
4 seasons.
One of the reasons I heard they actually stopped it is because each episode I had a ridiculous amount of money tied into each
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
an episode. So I'm actually excited to see where they take it. I'm hoping they explain maybe a prequel, like the Peacekeeper story.
Could be.
I'm actually really excited about that.
Yeah, actually, I actually liked Farscape better than I like some of the other shows that they've come out with recently. So
I agree.
And it's not hard sci-fi, but I think it's pretty damn near close.
it's close. I would say there are some episodes that are hard sci-fi, and then there's some that are campy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's half the fun.
Yeah.
I
It's
actually
like Doctor Who.
so ladies and gentlemen, next week's pick is The Old Guys.
Yeah.
So what movie are you picking, Mr. old guy.
So I wanted to go back to a movie that was brought to my attention by one of my teachers, and
Years ago.
yeah, we still use
Wait.
chalk and slate. Okay, but it's a movie with a message, and it's called the Oxbow Incident, and hopefully
Henry
you get a
Fonda, isn't
chance.
it?
What's that?
Henry Fonda?
Yep.
Henry Fonda.
Yep.
And it's a great black and white movie. It's got a message to it.
And Harry Morgan, by the way.
And Harry Morgan.
Oh,
yeah.
Harry Morgan.
Yeah.
Colonel
Sorry, I
Potter.
had to throw that out.
Yep, Colonel
It's
Potter.
a good movie. Anyway, it'll be fun
was like
talking about it tomorrow. Or next week.
45.
Even when he was
Whatever,
young, he's like Abe Vigoda. Even when he was young, he looked old.
Anyway.
Yeah, he looked really
You know
young.
what
in this
I always freak out when I think of Christopher Lloyd was 44 years old when he did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow.
Yeah. There's another guy that's amazing.
That's
Hey,
what we'll have to do.
if you guys don't
All
mind, I've got one shout out that I want to just do. A good
right.
friend of mine that I went to school with and was in a band with, and he started the band Roses on the Prairie. His name is Dirk Dalton. Same age as I. He unexpectedly passed away yesterday. And
man.
yeah, Dirk was a great guy. He's actually had a number of golden records as producers, and he was up there in the music world. And unfortunately, I just found out today that he passed away. So to Dirk's family and everybody and all the friends, my condolences.
Yes, our condolences are sent out to
Yeah,
the family
yeah,
and
really.
friends.
Yeah,
Go
good-
out there and
good
support
guy.
your local musicians while they're still around.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Okay.
So is anybody supporting you, Ryan, being the
No.
only
Nobody
musician?
supports me.
No, he's the drummer.
Oh, good
Yeah,
point.
Exactly. I'm in the back carrying a drum set. I should have played a harmonica.
So he's
That'd be
not
kinda cool.
He's
You
not a
could
musician.
Play
He's,
harmonica and drum.
You can do it.
We're
I've seen
gonna
it done.
Be like John Popper with a vest full of harmonica.
so he's not a musician. He's a drum machine. The living 808.
Hey, all he has to do is hit a button. He can take a break. Get out and get a drink or something. Come on
Yeah,
back.
what I always really wanted to be was Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins with the one man band thing.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, wow, this got off rails. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave the movie Roadhouse a 3 to 5. Rob gave it a 3 to 5. James and Ryan both gave it a 3 to 5. Next week's movie is The Oxbow Incident, made in 1943 with Henry Fonda. That's the second movie we've done with him. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.